So this leaves just 4 presidents who are known to have been more favourable to the idea of disclosing the truth about UFOs. These are Kennedy, Ford, Carter and Clinton. President Kennedy is known to have been informed about the Roswell incident in 1947, and therefore certainly was party to the information way before he became president. Kennedy is quoted as saying that he wanted to tell the truth, but his hands were tied. Could it be that Kennedy had a plan to disclose the truth, which is the real reason for his assassination in 1963? Moving on to Gerald Ford. 8 years prior to becoming president, Gerald Ford was a representative of Michigan in the US Senate. In 1966, Michigan experienced hundreds of UFO sightings, and Ford wrote to the government. In the firm belief that the American people deserves a better explanation than that thus far given by the Air Force, I strongly recommend that there be a committee investigation of the UFO phenomena. I think we owe it to the people to establish credibility regarding UFOs and to produce the greatest possible enlightenment of the subject. Lieutenant Colonel Hector Quintanilla, who was director of US Air Force Project Blue Book, when he heard Ford's comments said, "I had to shake my head and laugh. An open hearing would be a circus and I didn't want any part in it." Once Gerald Ford became president following the resignation of Richard Nixon, Ford never spoke again about UFOs until he left office, and then only on one occasion. The commitment to UFOs seemed to have gone. Why Ford changed is not certain. A letter asking Ford what he had done about the UFO problem during his various government roles was addressed to him by George Filer, a UFO researcher and former Air Force intelligence officer. In his response to the letter, Ford stated that if the UFO secrets had been given to some presidents, he was not one of them. During my public career in Congress as Vice President and President, I made various requests for information on UFOs. The official authorities always denied the UFO allegations. As a result, I have no information that may be helpful to you. Moving on to Carter. Jimmy Carter famously witnessed a UFO in 1969, and during his presidential campaign said, "If I become president, I'll make every piece of information this country has about UFO sightings available to the public and scientists. I am convinced that UFOs exist because I have seen one." Once in office, such statements about UFOs did not occur. There are a number of theories as to why Carter did not deliver on his promise. One is that he was briefed on the information and given reasons why it should not be given to the public. Another is that he and his family were threatened. Probably the most plausible explanation is that he was denied access to the information. Once in office, Carter went about achieving his goal and had a meeting with George Bush Sr., who was at the time the head of the CIA. Bush refused to give him access to the information because he knew what Carter wanted to do. So Carter hired an attorney, Daniel Sheehan, to try and get to the information. Out of all the presidents, it seems that Jimmy Carter wanted disclosure the most, and because of this was kept completely in the dark. This leaves just one other, Bill Clinton. After he had retired from power, Bill Clinton gave a speech in Hong Kong in 2005. Here is a quote in answer to a question put to him. "Well, I don't know if you've heard this, but when I was president in my second term, there was an anniversary of Roswell. People came to Roswell, New Mexico from all over the world. And there was also a site in Nevada where people were convinced that the government had buried a UFO and perhaps an alien deep underground because we wouldn't let anyone go there. And I can say now, because it's been released into the public domain, this place was really serious. That there was an alien artifact there. So I actually sent someone there to figure it out. I did attempt to find out if there were any secret government documents that revealed things. If there were, they were concealed from me too. And if there were, well, I wouldn't be the first American president that underlings have lied to or that career bureaucrats have waited out." In summary then, presidents have either been kept in the dark or have been in favour of the cover-up. So what about the future? Are there signs that we are being prepared for disclosure? The British government are releasing their classified UFO files to the public over a period of years. I don't believe for 1 minute that these files contain all of the information. However, the releasing of the files makes people aware of the issue, and the fact that it is being done gradually makes me think that this is part of a campaign to prepare the public for disclosure. I asked the government when the next release of the documents would be, but they wouldn't say. There is no exact timetable. They are being released over the coming years. Could it be that at the end of this process is a plan for disclosure? I believe that other organisations have been preparing for disclosure. Here is a recent quote from the Vatican. "Aliens could be out there, and believing that the universe may contain extraterrestrial life does not contradict faith in God. How can we rule out that life may have developed elsewhere? Just as there is a multitude of creatures on earth, there could be other beings, even intelligent ones, created by God. This does not contradict our faith, because we cannot put limits on God's creative freedom. Just as we consider earthly creatures as brother and sister, why should we not talk about an extraterrestrial brother? It would still be part of creation." So there we have it. The Catholic Church is preparing itself for disclosure.